We're going to replace the engine cooling system temperature sensor on a 2017 Suburban. Repair should only be performed by trained service personnel. This is the engine coolant temperature sensor. For engine cooling system problems, make sure you rule out the thermostat first. That's the component that's most likely to fail because it's a mechanical component, as opposed to the temperature sensor, which is an electrical component. We have a video on our channel that may help you isolate the faulty component before you begin any repairs. See the link in the description. This is the engine coolant temperature sensor. The temperature sensor monitors the temperature of the coolant. Always disconnect the negative battery terminal when working on a vehicle. In this case, it's also required to clear any engine cooling system error codes so any repairs can be properly tested. Loosen the engine air filter hose clamp. Loosen the air intake manifold hose clamp. Remove one end of the driver's side PCV tubing. Note that the release or unlocking tab is on the bottom of this connector. Depress the unlocking tab before attempting to pull the connector off. It may be necessary to gently pry the connector off. Here you can more clearly see the unlocking or release tab. Remove one end of the passenger side PCV tubing. Note that the release or unlocking tab is on the top of this connector. Depress the unlocking tab before attempting to pull the connector off. Here you can more clearly see the unlocking or release tab. Pull the air intake hose box from the air intake manifold and then lift it out of the way. This is a locking feature for the temperature sensor connector release tab. Pull the locking feature straight up. While pressing the release tab, pull the cable connector straight up. If the locking feature becomes stuck, you may have to pry it loose. Before prying, it may be helpful to depress this feature in case it's stuck in the release tab. Use one tool to depress the feature and another tool to gently pry. After it has moved a little bit, you can use your fingers to pull it up the rest of the way. While pressing the release tab, pull the cable connector straight up. You may want to place rags around the temperature sensor to minimize coolant spill. Loosen the temperature sensor with a 19mm deep socket until it can be turned by hand. Make sure you have the new replacement temperature sensor within reach. Use one hand to remove the temperature sensor the rest of the way, and have the other hand ready to plug the hole that's left by the removed sensor. Pick up the new replacement temperature sensor and very quickly plug the hole with it. The new part comes with thread sealant, so you won't be able to turn it very much by hand. It's very important that you don't cross-thread this component. Using the deep socket, tighten the temperature sensor the rest of the way. Plug the cable connector into the socket of the temperature sensor, then press down on the locking feature. Attach the air intake hose box to the air intake manifold. Attach the two PCV hoses and ensure that they are locked in place. Remember to depress the locking feature when inserting the connector. Tighten the air filter hose clamp. Tighten the air intake manifold hose clamp. Reconnect the negative battery terminal. Check the coolant level and replace any lost fluids. As you can see here, we lost very little fluid during the repair. Run the engine until it gets to normal temperature and check for any coolant leaks. Thanks for watching. We hope you enjoyed this video. If so, please like and subscribe.